There's a version of you that shows up when everything is fine. You're patient, you're present, you're the dad that you've always pictured yourself being. And then there's a version that shows up on a Tuesday night when dinner's on the stove, someone is crying over nothing, and you haven't slept right in like 3 days. And that version doesn't look like the first one. Most dads, though, think that the problem is the Tuesday. They think that if they could just white knuckle through it, get through those hard moments, they're going to be okay. But that's not what's happening. The problem isn't the moment. It's that your tank was already empty when you arrived. And here's what nobody tells you. Staying calm is not the goal. Building the capacity is. Those are two very different things. And today, I'm going to show you the difference between them. I'm Aaron, and I've been an educator for 12 years. I've taught science and physical education. Now I help fathers of young children transform from being reactive to responsive, so that the hard moments no longer tear away at the relationship, but actually help build a stronger one. If this is your first time here, welcome. And if you saw the last video, you already know what we're building toward. Hit subscribe if you haven't yet. This is exactly the kind of content I'm going to keep making, and I don't want you to miss it. Research in neuroscience has developed a concept called the window of tolerance. Think of it like this. Your nervous system has a zone, right? And inside that zone, you can think clearly, make decisions, stay present with your kids. You can handle all the noise and the chaos and the spilled juice without going sideways yourself. But every dad has a point where the window closes. Something trips a wire, your jaw tightens, your chest starts to go tight, and suddenly you are not responding to what's in front of you anymore. You're reacting from somewhere else entirely. That's what it looks like when you go outside your window. And here's what most dads miss. The size of that window is not fixed. It's not your personality, it's not who you are. It's trainable. Your nervous system adapts the same way that your muscles do. You put it under manageable stress, give it the right time for recovery, and then over time it can hold more. A lot more. So the question isn't, how do I stay calm? The question is, how do I build a bigger window so that I have more room before I hit that wall? That's what I want to talk about today. I want to tell you about something that I figured out the hard way. I'm a teacher and a coach, and I coach multiple sports. I don't get much time with my kids during the week, during the season. So I decided that I was going to spend as much time as I could with them between the time that I got home and when they had to go to bed. This pushed back things like chores, decompression, this work, and anything else I wanted to do to like after 9 o'clock at night. I wouldn't get to start those things until that time. I felt like I was being productive. I felt like I was doing what my family needed. But what I started noticing was that the days that followed the nights where I stayed up super late took a toll on me. I was a different dad. Not dramatically, right? Not in a way that would make headlines. Just shorter. Less space for anyone else. A sound that would normally roll off my shoulders hit differently. A moment with my son that would have been easy wasn't. And I kept blaming the moment. I kept thinking to myself, oh man, that shouldn't have gotten me like that. But after some real deep reflection, I realized that it wasn't the moment, right? It was me and my baseline going in. My window was already narrow before my kids even walked in the room. So I drew a line. No more working past midnight. Not because someone told me to, but because I looked at the data from my own life and I saw what it was costing me. And when I made that change, and when I stayed consistent with a few of the other things I'm gonna share with you, the window got bigger. The same moments that used to trip a wire started having less power over me. That's the physiological shift. And here's more of the science that backs it up. There are 3 inputs that I believe serve as the foundation of the baseline for that window of tolerance. And the first one is sleep. And I'm sure you've heard this before, right? But I want to reframe what it actually means for us as a father. Sleep is not just rest, it's recovery. It's the period where your nervous system recalibrates, where cortisol levels begin to drop back down to normal, where capacity for the next day gets rebuilt. Research on sleep has found that improving sleep quality directly reduces general stress and enhances resilience. Not just improves your mood, but enhances resilience. That's a different word and it means something specific. It means your system can now hold more before it breaks. When you're chronically sleep deprived as a dad, and let's be honest, a lot of us are, your window of tolerance is narrower before you even start the day. You're walking into every moment already behind with the deck stacked against you. The midnight line that I drew was about protecting the one thing that I knew was rebuilding my capacity every single night. I'm not going to tell you exactly what your sleep schedule or your sleep boundaries need to look like. You know your life better than me. But I want you to ask yourself honestly, is there a line that you haven't drawn yet that your data is already telling you to draw? The second input is movement, and I want to be specific about what I mean by this. A 2024 study found that voluntary physical activity boosts what researchers are calling autonomic resilience to social stress through vagal mechanisms. So what that means is regular movement strengthens the part of your nervous system that is responsible for recovering from stressful situations faster. And here's why all of this actually works. Stress produces a biological cycle in your body that was designed to end in physical action. The adrenaline, the cortisol, the tension, your body built all of that up expecting movement to follow. So when you work out consistently, you're completing the cycle that was started by stress in addition to building fitness. For me, it's basketball. The physical exercise, the social aspect of it, right? Consistent basketball changed my baseline in a way that I could feel. Mainly, I could feel a difference when I went without it. And not just physically, right? But mentally as well. When I was competing, I was more regulated and I had more room for everything else. And I want to be clear, basketball is my thing. It might not be yours. Some dads need a long walk or want to go for a bike ride. Some dads need to be at the gym at 5 a.m. with their gym bros throwing weight around, right? The modality is not the point though. The point is this: movement is not simply just about fitness. It's nervous system training. Every session is a deposit into the capacity that you're gonna need to withdraw from at 6 p.m. when your kid is losing it and you've had a rough day and you've had nothing left since noon. Find your thing and do it consistently. That is the only prescription. Before I keep going, if you want to take what I shared and actually put it into practice, I built something for you. It's called the Anchored Father Training Log. It's a weekly check-in that walks you through your baseline of all three of these inputs. Helps you identify where you are losing capacity and gives you a simple way to track your commitments week by week. Check the link in the description and it'll get sent directly to you. The third input is one that most dads dismiss because it sounds soft. And I get it. Bear with me though. Neuroscience researchers at Stanford ran a randomized trial comparing 4 different stress management practices: breathwork, meditation, box breathing, and a technique called cyclic sighing. They measured anxiety, mood, and physiological arousal across all 4 groups over a period of 28 days. Cyclic sighing won, and it wasn't even close. 5 minutes a day produced the greatest reduction in anxiety and the greatest improvement in mood. And those effects lasted across the full 24 hours after each session. Here's how it works. 2 sharp inhales through the nose. Fully expand the lungs in the first one, and then the second quick inhale just tops it off. Followed by a long, slow exhale through the mouth, like this. That extended exhale activates your parasympathetic nervous system, and it literally signals to your body that the threat is gone. I use this almost every day when I feel activation coming on. Not because I'm managing a crisis, but because I'm doing maintenance on my nervous system, and I need to show up for my family. Your breath is the steering wheel for your nervous system. It's the only involuntary mechanism in your body that you have slight control over. So why not leverage that? I want to come back to something I said at the top. Staying calm is not the only goal. Most of the content out there for dads is built around the in-the-moment management. Breathe, count to 10, walk away. And here's the thing. Those things have their place, right? But they're all operating on a narrow window and trying to squeeze more out of it. What I'm talking about here is different. I'm talking about widening that window before the moment arrives, so that when it does, and let's be real, it's going to, you've got more room, more capacity, more of yourself available. Sleep movement, breath work. These are not just wellness habits. They are the maintenance that your nervous system needs in order to fulfill the job that fatherhood demands from it. The fathers I work with make this non-negotiable, but here's the thing, it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be every single day. It just needs to be consistent. They don't just react less. They show up differently. Their kids feel it, and their relationships feel it. Remember, you're not trying to eliminate the storms. You're building the capacity so that you can stay steady within them. You can be the anchor. That's the work, and that's what Forged in Fatherhood is built around. If this landed for you, if something in here named something that you've been feeling but couldn't quite put words to, hit subscribe. This is the kind of content I'm building week by week, and every video is going to go a little deeper. Share it with a dad that needs it. That's honestly the highest compliment you can give. Everything I walked you through today, the window of tolerance, the 3 inputs, the way your baseline affects every hard moment, all those things are about building the capacity so that you can be the father that your kids deserve. And remember, the Anchored Father Training Log is a weekly check-in that you'll go through like once a week, maybe 5 or 10 minutes, to keep you honest about where your capacity actually is and what you're doing to protect it. Check the link in the description and it'll get sent directly to you. Again, the goal was never to be the perfect dad. It was to be a present one, to be the anchor during the storm. I'll see you in the next one.